What's good, guys? It's your boy CS back with another one after a lengthy hiatus, right? Um, I am back. And I will be posting as much as I can. So I've not got back to everybody in my DMs or on Telegram, but I'll try to do my best to get back to everyone. Anyway, this is going to be a full comprehensive video. We're going to run through so many charts, look at so many different things, and see whether we're in that magical bubble now of alt season and whether it will come and why it's been so draining for us to even get here. Right, so let's kick off. Bitcoin. We're going to zoom out. I've not done much analysis since I've been away, so this will be good for me as well. So, we came out of this impulsive move, right? And then we went into this flag pattern. Remember when we hit 52k and 49k, whatever it was. And then we've had an impulse move up. And basically, we're now just accumulating here. We're consolidating here. As you can see, this is actually a beautiful pattern, especially on the weekly. Yeah, I remember on the weekly, this is beautiful. We've basically just been ranging. And so when I look at patterns, rectangular patterns, after coming up from an impulse move, they usually only mean one thing, which is this, where we're about to go up. So again, this is super bullish, and we've already had another touch, another retest, and on the monthly as well of February. That's how we look on the 1st of February. Well, actually, we're a couple of days in now, but on the 1st of February, that's where we literally just hit. So that looks very, very healthy. If I go onto the parabolic chart and where we are, right, this looks pretty clean. So we've hit the first leg, then we've got the second leg, then we've got the third leg all the way here, and this will be the fourth and final wave pattern before we eventually come back. And I do think we're just basically going to come and test this CME gap eventually. I'm actually going to put some alerts here while we're looking at this. So that's the parabolic chart. That's what we're looking at. It's got one final leg. So in theory, we've actually just come and retested the parabolic line, and we could bounce off it again and again and again. Everything looks bang on. Nothing bearish here, only bullish momentum. This one, I think I had a wedge pattern, which this is more of a scrap chart, which was something like that. I've got a better one, which I'll show you. But yeah, this one was kind of like a wedge pattern. In a way, you could actually just say we're rejecting off it right now and we're trying to overcome it. Yeah, not as good as the one that I have up here, which is this one. 2, 3 is this one. This is the wedge that I was looking at, and actually it's played out really nicely where we've come back and we've back tested it numerous times, once, twice, 3, 4 and 5 times. We've come and tested this descending wedge and worked out perfectly in our favor. I also had this, as this could have been an outlier. Also, one little tip, right, for people who don't know, just drawing wedges can sometimes go out of the bandwidth that you're in. So you can draw 2 lines to make a presumption of where this could go. Like if this nuked, like wholly nuked, this would have filled the CME gap. So this is why I always draw additional lines to say, could we hit somewhere and where would we hit to? Because look, we've got a 1 wick, 2 wick, and then possibly a 3rd wick here. Anyway, that's just a tip for people who are interested in trading and want to know what I look at. In terms of point of control, we are now coming back to test this point of control region here. And actually, it usually takes a few attempts to really, really overcome it. And I think this is the biggest one that we want to look at here. You can see here at 106k. 1, 2, 3, and then we came down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. came down. 1, 2, came down. And then I think this is the 4th time lucky. I think this has to be the 4th time lucky. Similar to like this, right? If you were a bear, you're like 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Like, how many times do you have to come here until we break it? But the thing is, we are in a bull market. Global liquidity is increasing. This is a bull market. Whether you like it or not, this is just the market conditions that we're in. And so it's favorable to be a bull rather than a short or a bear in this type of market. Okay, so that's Bitcoin as a whole. And in terms of spider line resistance, right? We've basically come back and retested this yellow line or near it multiple times. I think the one that I'm more afraid of is this one here, which is this yellow line, right? Because to a T, we've always come and hit into it. And so where could the Bitcoin top be in March? It could be here, 120K, 24th of March. And if we have a prolonged cycle and it goes on for a bit longer, yeah, we could come and hit 150. Right? So these are the levels that I'm personally looking at as to like the next high at around 115, 120. And even if we came down to that CME gap, look where we hit a spider line, right? And so a lot of this is actually in our favor when we're looking at it from a higher time frame perspective. Now, the most interesting part of this video are going to be the tether dominance levels and the basically what's going to dictate what is an alt season or not. So yeah, stay strapped in here. There's a lot to go through. So I've been having to catch up myself quite a bit. But if we follow our yellow historic line since 2018, we basically broke it back in November and we retested it multiple times. And again, in this week again, we retested it. And so that is a line of support or resistance, but it's support in terms of the inverse correlation. Now, I've drawn this line here, this other yellow line, which is now giving us a rising wedge pattern. And so what I'm looking for is maybe that, and then we roll over, or we come back, retest one more time, or maybe 2 more times, and then we come back down. I can't tell you when, but as long as we respect the levels and there's no invalidation, this holds weight. This triangle right here. And so when I was saying, and I think a few other people like Nancy B, a few others, right, were like, yeah, there's no point buying, you know, when we were down here at like 4.10%, there's no point buying there because at a minimum, we're going to get a retest around here, 4.44%. And so round here is when I would have looked to have bought. Obviously, this wick happened at 4 in the morning where I am, so I never got a chance to buy it. But as soon as I woke up, it had basically come down to like 4.6%. And for me, that's good enough then, you know, nothing. 4.94%. Look, in the UK or Europe, it's just unfortunate when up at like those times 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you're in Asia or if you're in America and you stay up till late, that's like the perfect buying op, right? And so in terms of the Bitcoin dominance, we have not got out of a trend of alts dominating since May 2022. Right? That was the last time alts dominated. And really since September 2022, we've been going in this rising channel. So follow it with me, right? We came into it, we used that support, then bounced back in, bounced up here, back in, bounced up here, and then back in. Same shit going up. Bounced up there and then came back in. Now we just bounced all the way up here. And again, this is the thing that I'm trying to make you guys realize is once we hit these levels, we can then come back down. So you're going to be in a profit in your alts as long as this comes down. If it breaks, hallelujah. If it doesn't, it means we've got another leg to go, unfortunately. And then we might have to come back down again. Obviously, I don't know how much time there is in the cycle because what, we're in February right now. There's only what, 8 months technically left of a bull cycle. So when this thing rips, it rips fast. And that's what we got to remember. And look, on the daily as well, it's come back and it's respected the level. It's hit off there and it's hit off the 61.42% region. See this green line here, 61.42%. I'm going to show you something. Last time alt season kicked off was here at this region. See how we just rallied up and down, up and down, up and down, and then went boop. That's it. Once we're here, that's it. We rip down. Notice how we just chilled around this region back in March 2021, and then alt season happened up until May. Remember, this didn't occur till March time. So again, there was an earlier leg of alt season up here, which was back in Jan, hence why I thought we would get some type of, movement. But instead, unfortunately, we got the reverse treatment. We got the inverse treatment. So, yeah, alts are coming down, looking very, very tasty, looking very, very nice right now. We've just got to make sure that we don't see a revisit of the wick up here. If we do, alts are going to get another pasting. And looking at some of the more popular alts, right? So, Floki is one of my favorites. It's got an absolute battering, one of the easiest charts though to trade off, because the lines are so easy. Like, look at this little line here, this wick line here. Came down, there's our wick. Also, oh shit, I just moved one of my lines. Great. Now I've got to go back in. Hold on. One of the lines as well for horizontal support and resistance was there. So I think this must be there. It's got to be there. Oh my God, I'm just moving everything now. This is what happens when you have too many lines. Right. So anyway, it basically hit off there perfectly and then came back and then straight away retested the current resistance level. Now it's gone back into another wedge pattern and using it as support and now trying to come out of it. This is why, like, when you want to trade leverage and you want to trade easy charts like Floki, obviously nobody could have predicted the capitulation, but easier charts like that make a massive, massive difference. And so you want to be trading those types of charts. In terms of other charts, I mean, some have just got absolutely wasted. And I mean, Turbo, in a sense, hasn't been that badly wasted when I come to think of it. It's just retraced to August the 5th levels. If we go to PopCat, for instance, still in this nasty, whatever it is, I don't even know what this is anymore. But this has gone way past August the 5th. It's, and you got to remember where we've come from 2 billion to 200 million. That is probably the trade of the century if this goes back up. Fartcoin's held really well. Casa's done really well. It's come back to the 10 levels again. Done really, really well. Beam has got a battering as a gaming premier coin. Man, this is on the biggest discount I've ever seen in my life. Bonk's held up pretty well, especially on that blue trend line. Pepe got... You could say Pepe's done well in a sense because it's just held this yellow trend line. And this is what I mean. When you think about it, more of the solid coins have done really well. Mog's got a real bad smashing. Andy, big smashing, but also has now come back and tested that support trend line. Lambwolf really, really did get a big pasting, but I guess there's a support trend line there. Brett, I know a lot of people want me to focus on this, so Brett's come and hit a crazy, crazy level down here, which is just honestly unbelievable. It's basically taken out all the longs from way back when. You know my original long, right? My original long from when I first got into Brett was here at 300 million. And it came down. Imagine I held that trade all the way down. I wouldn't have been taken out, but it would have come close, right? And so obviously the importance here is, take profits, but also don't think that any chart is bulletproof. No chart is bulletproof. Like, in a sense, even though Bitcoin got a hit, it didn't get hit as bad and rocked as altcoins, right? And I think the grand stage of what we need to be looking at now is these gaps on the SPX. So I mentioned that previously gaps hadn't been filled for a very long time. So this one, the 5th of November, didn't get filled till the 13th of Jan. That's 2 whole months until it got filled. So if we go here and we do something similar, the 14th of Jan would take us to like 14th of March until that gap gets filled. That could be the alt season peak, basically. That could be the peak of alt season. And so that's why I'm saying to you guys, the gap doesn't necessarily need to always get filled straight away. Like, even if we look at this one, right? Do we check this one? 15th of August didn't get filled till, well, 1 month later. This gap fill. 11th of June didn't even get filled till the 13th of August. It completely missed it. Look, it came up, and then when it came back down, it missed it too. So 11th of June to the 14th of August, that's 2 full months away. So in theory, we're looking at 2 months. But also, look, there's gaps here that I've just never got filled from November 2023, 16th of November 2023. I've got alerts there because they've never been filled. Eventually, when we have a COVID type or black swan event, we will come down one day and we will hit those lows. Like, we'll come down and hit those once upon a time, we will. And I'll have alerts there to remind me of where these are. Look, there's even gaps here that I've never ever got filled. I think they're on the daily. If you go on the daily, you can even look at them. See? So some of these gaps have never actually got filled. And the average length is around 2 months that it takes to actually have the gap to be filled. So that's where we want to kind of preserve our mindset that by March time, mid-March, that's when we want to be getting out of alts and don't follow the herd. And this is the mentality you have to have. When they're all getting excited, we need to start thinking about taking shorts. And just one final chart was the Dow Jones. Like, look at this. This is from Jan as well. This one from November didn't get filled till December. This one from Jan, we could wait a full 2 months until we get to March. Then it might get filled. So this is what I mean, guys. Like, don't be obsessed too much with the gaps. It is a huge gap that will get filled, I think, but just not yet. I feel like until we have like a blow off top, that's not really on the cards right now. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of altcoins. I mean, I've got like a whole heap full. I've not looked at Solana in quite a bit of time as well. Just want to see where that is at higher time frame. It's doing really well, actually. I mean, if you just drew this as kind of a upward trajectory line on something, we could even make it a bit more steeper, right? And then you just put a line basically there. It looks like an ascending triangle. So this is just getting more dangerously more close to just finally breaking out and going ballistic. I don't really trade ETH, but I do love ETH memes. And like I said, 2018 all-time high was there. We didn't break it till the second week of February. And we had a retest as well. And at the moment, we're still down here. So we could still take a bit of time before we come and break the 21 all-time high. Right? So a long way to go. A long way to go. You know, there are some coins that are flipping green. Look at Ponky now. Look at Maniki. Look at Ondo. I think Popcat was one that we saw above. So yeah, a lot of coins are flipping green, and this is just bullish. It's making me more bullish that buying into the coins now is the right decision, and they'll basically have their day whenever that's supposed to be. There was also a good post I saw from Baker, which I quoted, where she basically summarized along the lines of not all altcoins are going to hit their previous all-time highs. Now, I believe Brett will. And the reason she cited that was because of the liquidity in the market. Now, obviously, there's lots of different things with liquidity providers, Wintermute, independent investment or equity houses. You've even got investors like ourselves that can create liquidity pools, like on Brett, for instance. And then the biggest thing is actual global liquidity, the injection from so many different markets, there's so much money that's going to be pumped into the markets that I agree with that sentiment that not everything is going to get love here. Like, you're going to have to find a coin that has some type of community or some type of backing, right? So, like, look at the coins that I'm looking at, right? SPX, Murad's top choice. Floki, Wojak, ChainGBT, Turbo, Popcat, Fartcoin, Casper, Beam, Bonk, Pepe, Mog, Andy, Lamorph, Brett. Dogegov is... No, well, Bonk Guy represents it. So, actually, Fetch, Render, Giga, Mumu, Jinan, Kokinu, Apu, AI16Z, MLG, Ponky, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I'd say about 95% of those have an active community of people that are either interested in the tech, AI, gaming, the utility behind it, or the meme coin itself, right? About 95% of those coins have some type of community. And if they've got an active community with, and I'm talking about like calls and people who want to push it, right? Like, nobody's given up on Jinan, even though it's at a 900k market cap. Nobody's given up on Mumu, even though it's sitting at, I don't even know what it's sitting at. There's like 10 million right now, or 15 million. Nobody's given up on Ponky. Nobody's given up on Apu. Nobody's given up on GigaChad, Brett, Andy. Like, nobody's given up on these coins. And therefore, even Popcat, like, Popcat's got the biggest baptism of all coins, right? But nobody's given up on them. And so those coins, I believe, will return to all-time highs. I do believe that. It's other coins that, well, the ones that I don't know about, or ones that have, like, look how many coins. I mean, some of these coins, for instance, I don't know how good they are. Like Hoppy, I know that's a Matt Fury character. Will it reach its all-time high? I don't know. Chill Guy, has that narrative just gone now? Peanut, has that narrative just disappeared now? I mean, what happened to the whole peanut craze? Pepe, remember the Chinese Pepe? Will it have a sudden surge because of like China and they want their Pepe to do better than, like, is that narrative still there? Because it was hot once upon a time. What about Tron? Sundog, what happened to Tron? Will it ever return? What happened to Resistance Dog? Will it return? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. I don't think liquidity will be applied to those types of coins because that's not where the main focus is. The main focus, I believe, is going to be on Solana, Ethereum, and Ripple, and maybe an outlier such as, I've not been following it, but maybe Sui. And you might get a couple of others, or like 3-4 top meme coins or top gaming coins or AI coins on AVAX or Cardano or other big ecosystems that will run. And so, a lot of these other coins I don't really know about. And remember, even Trump, to a degree, like, all the liquidity is getting drained out of Trump and now moving back into our coins, our existing coins. So this is only healthy for the solid coins like Floki, like Popcat, like Brett, like Pepe, Mog, the list, you know, all the list, Casper. This is really, really healthy for our coins going into this next phase, because those coins are, I believe, going to have that same liquidity injection. And the same people backing it are the same people that want to see it do really, really well and go into the billions. And also, one of the things that we need to discuss is the coins that have got listed on Coinbase, such as Turbo, such as MOG. There is a purposeful play that when this got listed here and it went at all-time highs, what do you think they did? They shorted the fuck out of the market, as we normally do. This is the thing, when something gets listed on Coinbase, you normally short it. And you know, when that Toshi, I've not really been concentrating, but I saw some stuff about Toshi getting listed a couple of weeks ago. I think it must have been here. I don't remember. But I saw a blow off top and I was like, I know that pattern. That is, and then it flipped Brett as well. Wow, that is a big blow off top. And I think I shorted it around here, something like there. And then I think I took profits around here because I've just not been really focused or dialed in into my trading at the moment. But looking at something doing stupidly crazy numbers like that, that's when you know when to short and when something's on Coinbase and it deserves to be shorted. Because look, they've taken profits right up here and then they've smashed the market cap by, what, 60% all the way down here. So to me, that's a no-brainer that it's a manipulated market and Coinbase and all the other big heads are playing around with it. And I think in terms of where we go next, we could come back down and create potentially like a right shoulder. I don't know for sure, but that's where we could just consolidate a bit more zigzag around here before we go. We could also come back down. It depends on that S&P gap here as whether it wants to get filled. But like I said earlier, 2 months, I think we'll be all right. I think if alts can get a move on and we get down this wedge and we come down and then we test this properly down here, what, 58.49, about 58%, 57%, then we can determine whether alts are really ready to rock or not. All right, guys, I will keep you tuned in and dialed in because this is the season to make probably the biggest amount of money on alt coins now rather than Bitcoin. The risk to reward ratio is definitely with alts, and it's about picking the best alts. And also remember, there'll always be a new coin as well. So that point that I was making about liquidity, there'll be a new kid on the block, like a new Peanut, a new Chill Guy, a new whatever it is, right? And they'll take all the liquidity out of the market, just like Trump did. And so that's something to watch out for when you are trading. And when that does happen, a lot of those old coins, you got to remember, like 10,000 coins are created a day, minimum, I'd say, because of just the garbage that's on Pump Fun and Tron and all the other ecosystems. That only the strong can survive, and only the battle-tested coins can survive, like I said, the old guard, shall we say. And so those are the coins you want to get into that'll do you a really good number, even if you have low leverage on 3 to 5 minimum. You'll do really good numbers on that. All right, guys, that's it from me. I shall catch you in the next one. Oh, one final point, which was the meme market. Look how everything has just switched up. Pepe now above Trump. Bonk and Floki, kind of just chilling around the 1 billion mark. Whiff, shame on Whiff. I never like Whiff. SPX Fart Coin doing really well, pushing up. And then look, there's a new kid on the block with this AI companions that I saw. Yeah. And it's flipped this AI 16Z coin. So these are the coins that we're looking out for. And we're trying to see, well, are they going to get a retrace? Are they going to keep pumping? Because remember, every pump has to have a dump eventually. And so These coins that are down here, like PopCap and Turbo, they are severely undervalued. And Mew literally has a cat coin that does nothing. It literally does nothing. It doesn't even really get beat up. It just goes down slowly. Has flipped PopCap by virtue of doing nothing because it moves so slow. And I think PopCap will flip them. Again, a Mog, again, not being the top cat coin below Toshi, that's a violation of the biggest echo chamber. And so I believe that these coins will come back up eventually. All right, guys, I will catch you.